What's up, everybody? This your boy Casey Cox, and we back in the rebuild. Listen, we about to get into some good content for today. But first, I need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and get ready to come back for some more of this. But yo, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. We're talking about cheating and infidelity. Why do we do it? I don't know. People doing it. Seems like everybody's doing it, right? Every time you turn around, you hear about somebody got some side situation going on or whatever. Is it cool? Nah, I would say absolutely not. It's nothing cool to do, to nobody else or to yourself. Yeah, that's right. I said to yourself. People don't think about it. You get into it. The things that you could do to yourself. How you making that decision could affect a lot of other things in your life, including your look and outlook and perspective on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing you gotta look at is yourself. How do you respect yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Where's your self sense of worth at? Where's your morals and ethics at if you decide to want to go do something like that? Because I understand people have problems in their relationship. Things ain't perfect. There's no such thing, as a perfect relationship. Absolutely not. But it's still a choice to go that route. You still have other options. When it comes to dealing with issues in your relationship, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's communication issues, sexual issues, the first and foremost, obviously, is to go try to talk to your partner, communicate with your partner. Communication is the key to, healthy relationships of any sort, working out. Obviously, with the communication, you got to have comprehension. So it is important that your partner that you're going to talk to is properly comprehending what you're saying, and they're trying to understand you. For the most part, I say this, I think I've read somewhere that, one of the biggest mistakes that we make as people when it comes to communication is that we listen to react, not to understand. So a lot of times, we're not really listening to what's being said. We just hear something, and we just react to it. I don't like that you said that. That made me feel some type of way, whatever. But we're not really listening to what the other is saying. So that's very important. As I said, first and foremost, obviously, is to try to communicate with your partner, whatever your needs are, whatever your concerns are. Now, I know that could be difficult because you can have some partners out there that are not big on hearing their partner's feelings, because they go into that, especially if it's a man. If you're the man in a relationship and you have some concerns or some feelings and you try to take it towards ladies, and especially nowadays for us men, it's hard for us to communicate to our ladies and stuff like that, because there's this thing going on today where it's like, if you express some kind of feelings about something, you want to talk, you want to communicate, you're soft. You're soft, you're weak, you're some kind of beta, because real men, alphas and stuff, they don't talk about their feelings. They don't want to express anything, nothing bothers them. So it could be tough, it could be tough on the women's side too, because you could be dealing with some dudes that's just on some other shit they're not listening to, they ain't trying to hear you, whatever. So I understand that could be tough, but you still gotta at least make the attempt. So this way, you try to talk, you try to put it out there. If your partner's not cooperating, they're not listening, they're not trying to, come across and meet you and things like that. Listen, not saying they're justified, because at the end of the day, nothing justifies cheating and infidelity and none of that. Nothing justifies it. But if you're led or you decide to go that route because your needs or whatever is not being met, you try to talk to your partner, they're not trying to hear you, they're not trying to take what you got to say into real consideration. At least at that point, you have a little something to be able to stand on if things go left. And now they're like, well, hey, why you do this? And you say, hey, look, I tried to talk to you, right? I tried to communicate, whatever. But otherwise, if you don't, you won't even make the attempt to communicate with your partner, because you do that passive aggressive thing, where it's like, I'm feeling some type of way about something, but I'm not going to communicate it. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to hold it in, because again, I'm a real man. I'm an alpha, or I'm a chick that don't express my feelings. I don't do that, So I'm going to just hold it and then decide to go act out and go through something else over here. Then you don't have nothing at all to stand on, because you didn't even try to communicate. So that's first and foremost. Try to communicate. You try to work things out, try to get things right. If you're left in that case where your partner's not coming across, I still wouldn't necessarily recommend going on cheating. I would say, hey, maybe look to move away from that relationship, then get out of that relationship. It may be tough. There may be things, people say, we got kids, I got financial issues. I understand all that, but again, at the end of the day, I think it's still like, I think you should. I would never say cheating is any kind of real option. Like anything like, well, because I can't get out there, so go ahead, I'm gonna go out there and just sleep around. Because look, because I would get into some other things in a minute. But like I said, I would look to just move out of that, try to move out of that situation. Even if you got kids on the table, I understand it'd be tough, but I think it would actually be healthier for especially at least if y'all could work together to still properly parent them. It'd be better, for them to be raised in a healthy co-parenting situation rather than in a situation where the parents try to stay together just for the sake of the kids, but they got all this other turmoil, all this dysfunction going on that the kids are witnessing and seeing. You understand what I'm saying? Hit me in my comments and let me know what you think about that part. So let's get into it going forward. Like I said, getting into some of that other stuff. Here's some of the other aspects of cheating that I think people don't look at. At the end of the day, it's not good, like no way around, because here's the thing: you're getting out there, you're messing around with other people, you're doing things. First and foremost, as I said, it's about self. You gotta look at what you're doing to yourself. So first and foremost, what are you doing, with your health? Because obviously going out there, cheating, doing what you're doing, you're not walking around or traveling around or kind of mobile, testing unit to be out there, getting people's health information before you decide to go and deal with them. Let's just be real about that. So you out there first and foremost playing Russian roulette with your own health. Oh, and I know people are gonna say, oh, but I use condoms. We're gonna use the condoms. Everything is gonna be all good. Here's the thing with that: condoms don't protect from every single thing. Just because you use a condom doesn't mean you're automatically protected from STDs or STIs. Some things are, skin to skin contact. It's not necessarily about fluids from the penis or the vagina. It's more about skin to skin contact. Herpes is one of those things that's a skin to skin contact thing, and you could get it on other parts of it. It's not necessarily only relegated to your genitals, right? You can have herpes in the mouth. You could have, because now there's simplex 1 and 2, right? 1 is usually just the cold sores, and 2 is those big nasty bumps you get around, in your genitals and everything. But here's the thing: you can get 2 in your mouth as well. You can transmit it. You can get it on other parts of your body if you're not careful how you handle it when you're trying to put on your medications or whatever it is you're doing. So you can get it on your hands. You can end up having it on your thighs or your stomach area, chest, arms, anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? Now here's another thing about that. Herpes can be contagious even when there's no visible signs. So what I'm saying is, like, you don't have to see the bumps and the sores and all that stuff for it to be at a space where it's contagious and the person could give it to you. So here's the thing: you could decide, oh, I'm gonna go, mess around with this guy, right? I'm going through whatever my relationship. I'm gonna go ahead and go mess with this guy I met online, or this dude that jumped in my DMs, or at the club or wherever I met the dude at. I'm gonna go mess with him, right? You going to handle this junk. You're going to handle his dick and all that, right? Oh, he ain't got no bumps or anything. I'm just gonna handle it. I'm gonna, jerk it, do whatever. But here's the thing: he can still be contagious at that time. So you're handling his stuff, and with the stuff being contagious at the time, because you don't see no bumps, so you're thinking it's all good. You handle it, doing whatever with it, and you're picking it up now. You're getting it on you. It's on your skin. It's looking for a way in. Any little broken skin or whatever you may have, it gets on you. Then what happens? You could turn around and bring that back home to your family. Bring them back home to your partner. You got kids. You come home, touching, kissing your kids, bringing it back home to your kids. You understand what I'm saying? And vice versa, it could be with a female, whatever, the female can have it, and again, she's not showing no signs or anything. So you're gonna go down there and finger pop and do all this stuff and do everything I'm gonna do and everything, and I might even put my face down there. Then what you do? You come home, bring it back to your family. You see what I'm saying? It's not cool. Play Russian roulette with your own health. Play Russian roulette, with your family's health. And there's other type of, obviously, what other stuff is out there too. Because here's the thing. Once again, go back to, we all use condoms. But here's the thing. There's a saying: familiarity breeds contempt. What does that mean? You messing around with a person for a long enough time, if it's an ongoing thing for a long enough time, you start to get comfortable. You start to get lax. You start to get sloppy with it. So there could be them situations where, you get into a situation where it's like, oh, y'all hot and bothered in a moment. Y'all want to do something, but oh man, I ain't got no condoms. I ain't got nothing on me. You know what? I'm so familiar with you. I'm cool with you. Go ahead. You can just let this one slide without the condom this time. I'll go ahead and suck you off or whatever this time without the condom. It's all good. I've been fucking with you for a few months now. But here's the thing: you don't know who else that person is exposing themselves to besides you. You think, especially if that person is your side person, you think that person is really going to lock themselves down to just dealing with you? No, 9 out of 10 they got other people they dealing with, and they doing all kind of stuff out there. So again, the moment you let that one little slide happen, you start letting stuff slide, like I said, you could be exposing yourself to whatever, and then coming home and exposing your family. So, that's a big part of it. You gotta think about, you gotta look at, it's not a game. This is not a game out here. So, my thing is you should always look to uh, avoid going down that road. Whichever way you can. Again, try to work things out, communicate with your partner. If that's not working, maybe seek some kind of professional help if you can. But again, if none of that is working, at the end of the day, we may need to consider to just leave. Because my thing is this: if the relationship is really that bad, why not just leave? I've never understood relationship is that horrible and it's that bad, but I'm gonna stay and just go cheat. Like cheating is going out and helping anything. If you're having communication problems with your partner and you go out and lay up with somebody else, when you're done, when that few minutes or whatever is done and you get up, you come back home, guess what's still there? Those communication problems. If you got a problem with your relationship where you feel like your partner is not spending enough time with you, not putting in enough, effort into the relationship, whatever, again, I can go decide to lay down with somebody else and go fool around with somebody else. But guess what? As I said, when you're done with that and you come back home, guess what you're coming back to? The same issues. Going out and doing that is not changing or solving anything at all. It just makes things worse because they say you get caught, you get busted, right? And one or two things happen. Either the relationship is immediately done. So if you thought you were saving your relationship by like, well, you know what, I don't want to, because there may be other things to the relationship that's good, that's beneficial. So I want to stay to be able to take advantage of that still, but I want to go and try to have my cake on the side. Guess what happens? One of the things that can happen is the relationship is immediately done anyway. So what you thought you were saving, you didn't save because it's gone anyway. The other thing is if y'all decide to try to stay together and work it out, now you got a big, huge problem on your hands now, way bigger than it was before. Because before you might have just had a little, like I said, lack of going out more. These things again, you could have had communication, could try to work. And I said, okay, we can just go out more often, whatever. These things are not big, huge issues that can't be solved if both sides are willing to meet each other and do the work. But now you got a bigger problem because now you got the trust issues to get over and deal with now. And you got, all the anger and everything about that the person has for you because you cheated on them. So you got all this other stuff to work through now besides just that one little issue. So it doesn't help anything. It actually makes things worse. So as I said, my thing is, if the relationship is really that bad, you should really, I guess, look into just leaving and getting out and moving on. Don't be afraid to be alone. That's it. Things may be tough. You may have some logistical issues that you're concerned about. How I'm gonna make this work? How I'm gonna make that work? At the end of the day, that's what life is all about. Finding ways to push through and make things work. Take your time, do what you got to do, get your best foot forward, but don't be afraid, to move on. It may be hard. It may not be easy to make that transition and start over, but that may just be the best thing for you. So, with that being said, as I always say, keep pushing. Never stop, never settle, always keep going forward. And if this world comes and knocks you down, like it always does, that's all right, because you can always rebuild. Till next time, my people, one love.